Hi, everyone. Welcome to Merge Money. We are live today with Chris and Stefie. And of course, Christine is here with us. So it's so good to be kind of getting back into the routine of the Monday night shows. So
yes,
excited.
it is.
And I really just want to thank Chris and Stefie. I am so honored that you guys wanted to do the show tonight with us. And thank you. I know that normally you guys don't do YouTube channels, so it's one of those big leaps to take to be on the show. So really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I'm truly honored to be here. We're just starting off, so.
Yeah. Well, let's start with just introducing you guys and talking a little bit about your story. I know Stefie is a New Jersey girl like me. I'm like half New Jersey girl, half Virginia, so it doesn't really count. But I spent about 10 years in New Jersey. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm East Coast as well. I come from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's about 40 miles west of Philly. Moved out to Phoenix, Arizona in 2010 and started going to church. Kind of had a rough past and really got taken in with my church, and they just loved me to death. And then about 5 years ago, I was coming out of church, and there was this girl, and she was decked from head to toe in Eagles gear. And I went up to her, and I was like, hey, listen, I traveled 3,000 miles to get away from that stuff. She said, deal with it, and I fell in love.
Oh my God, that's the best story ever. I love it.
We traveled 3,000 miles to be blessed, and we had a cheesesteak, and it was a wrap after that. You share your story a bit?
First date.
First of all, which kind of cheesesteak? Do you like
cheesesteak, of course.
I'm always with
Pat's or do you like Geno's?
None.
Neither.
It's Jim's. Only the tourists go to Pat and Geno's.
We're not tourists.
Just had to get that out of the way.
Yeah, Jim's.
No, we like
Fourth and
Jim's.
South.
On South Street.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that was a trick question, right?
We had to test if we're really a Jersey girl or not.
Give her a second, you'll hear it.
I'm born and raised in South Jersey, right outside, 5 minutes from Philly. You can see the bridge from all my bedroom windows.
Oh,
I loved your Etsy description where you're like, not to be confused with North Jersey, otherwise known as South New York.
Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt right now that I designed. North, South, Middle, who cares? Nobody cares about Trenton.
That's where I'm from. Yeah, East Brunswick, New Jersey's right in that middle, who cares?
Yeah, that's Trenton. Nobody really cares about Trenton.
I wasn't Trenton, but I was over to the east. Like I was in East Brunswick, which is pretty close to Rutgers.
Yeah, that's around there.
So you got to ask the question: what exit are you then?
Exactly. Well, we're in between 8A and 9, so usually
I grew up with exit 10.
Yeah. How many exits are there in Jersey?
I don't even know.
Yeah. I was just curious. I know it's kind of a small state. So.
At least 15, because I would take exit 15 to get to my sister's, but that's like right there close to New York. So I think it's like maybe 16.
Wow.
I try to stay out of North Jersey. I don't like North Jersey.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what comes after exit 9. Like, yeah. And then there's the Parkway too, and and then all the jug handles. New Jersey,
the jug handles, yeah.
Yep, it's
Christine and I are sitting back here going, what are these people talking about?
I know.
It was hard when I first moved out here. When I first moved out here, I was 17, and I finished high school out here. And they didn't understand me at all when I first moved out here, and I didn't understand them. They didn't know what a turnpike was or a jug handle. And they tried to talk to me about stuff like my gym class. The teacher told me to put on my tennies. I was like, what the heck is a tenny? I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. Perfect. Like, this is every state in the U.S. is different, and it's you don't realize, like, when you're in whichever state or whichever country you're in, you don't really realize like how different people like say things, and that makes a big difference on merch. You can use all of those little things.
For definitely.
Because especially if you move to a different state, you miss the things in that state, or you miss those funny little ways you would say
things. But I still get teased all the time.
Yeah, because English is a second language for her.
Exactly.
First language is Jersey.
I had a similar thing where I moved to New Jersey just before I went to high school. So like summer after 8th grade, I moved to New Jersey, and I felt like New Jersey was another language. I was like, where?
It is. It is. And you were like right there where you're stuck between South Jersey and North Jersey, which was New York. So
exactly. I'm in the middle who cares section. I totally I was like, where am I? Who cares?
I'm gonna make her a shirt with a little pin in the middle says Helen's here.
I'll put you right there.
It's so funny because I was just at the age where I couldn't quite accept like a new identity. Like I just was like, I'm not a Jersey girl. Like I'm a Virginia girl. And it's so funny because the whole rest of my family fully accepted it. They all became Jersey girls and guys and whoever. Like they love New Jersey. So
and my mom moved out here. My mom became an Arizona girl, and she got rid of the whole Jersey identity. Yep. And she's like, "You gotta get with the picture, Stefie. You gotta become the Arizona girl." And I'm like, "I'm never getting rid of my Jersey. It's never going nowhere. I'm never getting rid of my accent. I'm always gonna be Jersey."
Yep. Yeah. Well, I had the same feeling, so I moved back to Virginia because I like couldn't get rid of the identity of being in Virginia. But the rest of my family totally fine. They acclimated. They're Jersey people now.
I got a friend who did the opposite. So she comes from Reading, moved out to Jersey, worked in like Atlantic City, and then she went down to Virginia and is really successful down there in real estate. So she did similar thing, had to get out.
Yeah.
It was hard to adjust out here for me because coming from where I come from, and so the tri-state, you have New York and you have Jersey, and then you've got Philly, and everything moves really, really fast. Really, really fast. You talk super fast, handle everything super fast. And I came out here, and I was still in college, and I did pretty much the same thing out here in college for work study that I did back in Pennsylvania, but they took a really long time.
Oh, I know.
to do everything. It was like the day of, and they're planning. And I remember back east, it was like we had everything set up the week before. So the day before, we had everything on the cart, and you came in and just push it up, and bam, bam, it's done. Out here, it was like, hey, what do we do? So it was like really hard to adjust.
Yeah. Yes. I love Lonnie's comment. She's saying she's a Philly girl, and she's living in San Francisco, and they can't handle it. She says water.
Water.
I can't say
WOODE.
Oh, and then you say Mary 3 different ways, because that's one thing in New Jersey, like the name Mary, and then if you marry somebody, and then if it's Mary.
Oh, getting married.
Those are all
pronounced
differently. Oh, yeah, that's
Mary.
Yeah,
I don't know another.
I think that's South New York.
Well, that's South New York. Yeah. I remember
Mary.
Trying to say those 3 different Marys, like, and I say them exactly the same, all 3. And they're like, what? Like, they would act like I was saying it wrong. They're like, no, it's Merry Christmas, but they would say it in a different way. And I'm like, what in the world?
Oh, like Merry Christmas, Mary, and Mary.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I did not know.
There you go. You have successfully passed the test. You're definitely from Jersey.
Say
those 3 right.
And I'm getting all sorts of shirt ideas, man.
We too. I did a whole design. I did "You Say, We Say," And like how normal people, not Jersey people, normal people say things like water and coffee and talk and walk and all these things, but the right way. And then I did how we say them on the East Coast.
Great idea.
And then I individualized them, and I'm doing them, differently. We got the water shirt as one of our #1 sellers.
All I know is that with all my Jersey friends, if we ever left the state, like we took different road trips here and there, I was always the one that pumped gas because no one knew how to do it.
It took me forever to learn how to pump gas. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were all like, Helen, it's all you. We have no idea.
So going along those lines with like hometown shirts is, I got that idea because there's actually a store out here in Cave Creek, and they're from like Wisconsin or something, and it was all cheesehead stuff. And it sold. So they had a whole website geared towards everything in Wisconsin. And as you were saying, things are keyed in. So taking heart to where you're from. And if you look on Etsy and you look at, we don't do these, but if you look on there, you'll see that like they'll have all the states and the word home or heart or, as she said, San Francisco from Philly, living in San Francisco, but I left my heart in Philly. Those, a lot of people want them, on mugs or whatever the case may be. And then, so if you're there, this stuff, those particulars, and like, so we had something we sold on Etsy just recently, I think it was last month, was a coffee mug that was a retirement gift. Somebody moved out of New York, they wanted one of our coffee mugs for a retirement gift for them because they were moving away.
Oh, that's awesome. Dwayne saying people from New Jersey say the shore. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Down the shore.
Down the shore.
And that's actually a really good segue. That's where that was the copyright. That in my post where I talked about there was something silly that got copyright was our best-selling shirt, which was you go to the beach, we go down the shore. Down the shore was copywritten, and so it got taken down, and it crushed us, right? Because she loved it. As you can tell, she's fired up everything with Jersey. And
she's like got her Jersey angry, like who just
to me? So it's like, what do we do?
I'm Jersey. Don't let me go Jersey on you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you guys had to deal with that. That was something to learn too about saying down the shore and then the city. Like when I first moved there, I'm like, what city are you talking about? They're like, what city are we talking about? The city.
The only city.
Yeah, the only city. I'm like, oh, okay. New York.
I'm here with you, Christina. We're good. We got this. We have no clue what's going on. So does the 10,000 other people listening.
So okay, we'll wrap. We'll bring it in from all the Jersey and talk about how did you guys get started with print on demand? Like, how did you find out about it?
So I honestly don't remember how. Oh, I do remember. I'm a consumer. I consume information like crazy, podcasts and occasionally YouTube videos, but books and audiobooks and things like that. And we do a lot with the Dave Ramsey thing, really trying to save to get out of debt. When I was in 9th grade, I really trouble passed, and I had to pick an elective, and I picked graphic design. And the only thing I remembered about it was, the only thing they told me was you get to make your own t-shirts, and learned everything else with it. But I really focused on making t-shirts and screen printing, and it was always a dream of mine that I just wanted to open up a t-shirt business. And it's very difficult to get the emulsion, to get it to cure. I tried to do it out here. I built a light box, but I didn't have the UV lights. And in Phoenix, you can't have something in the sun for a half a second without exposing it too much. So trying to work it out was very difficult. And I was listening to a podcast at work, and it was how to make extra money or side income, side hustle. It was called the Side Hustle Show. And on there, they talked about print on demand. And so I looked into it, and I'm like, this is crazy. I don't have to do anything, but I can make t-shirts, and I can design t-shirts. And one of the things that we're struggling with personally is fertility. And we really want to have a baby, but we're struggling to do it. And one of the things is, what happens if she gets pregnant and she has a medical thing and she has to stay home and we don't have the income for it? So the idea was that we could start this business get it rolling by the time she would be pregnant, and she could work on it at home if she couldn't work anymore. She's an amazing artist. She won't take credit for it, but she has this eye. It's ridiculous. Our house, we moved into this little tiny 650 square foot apartment shortly after we got married, and everyone would compliment her because of the way she laid it out. And it was this tiny space, but she made it look amazing. She can see things and she sees it in a different way, but she doesn't know where to point it. So I thought this would be a good way to get her back into art, bought her a drafting table again because she loves drafting, and just really trying to get her to express where her art is and whatever that may be. And so that's how it became a we thing, where I've been using Photoshop since ninth grade, since Adobe Photoshop 3.5. My thing is really photographs. I do photography and I do typography, and I really love those sort of things where she is culturally centered, and like she pays attention to what's going on and watches TV and all those different things. So she has her thumb on that, where I'm constantly in the Bible, and that tends to be where my stuff comes from. I'm studying scripture, and the Lord blesses me with an idea, and it's a Bible verse, or it's something that's going to glorify Him. And so that's where my designs are centered, where she loves Dachshunds and Jersey, and that's where her designs are centered. Aww. So we're building that as a brand. We're not chasing, because we tried. We tried to do St. Patty's Day, try to do Valentine's Day, try to do this. Hey, Trump's going on in the news. Trump said this. That's really hard. Juna with his show and his Instagram, that guy is amazing and comes up with all these different things. But he's a graphic designer, and he can have 1,000 designs because that's what he loves doing, and his art is the expression of that. And I love the fact that he shares because he teaches me how to do so much. But someone like that who produces art like that, that's perfect for him. Mm-hmm. For someone like us, that's not our thing. We do our best, and they'll tell you, listen to different people, and they say go on Fiverr, you can do this, you can do that. Well, $5 a design, when you don't have $5 to buy your own design, if your business is paying for everything, where do you get the $5? And it's never $5 because it's $20, right? Yeah. And $20 a design to pay for a $10 shirt to get out of tier 10 typically doesn't work too well. So, you just focus on what it is.
I love your story. It's such a good story. And and I don't know if you know or don't know, but I also went through infertility. So if you ever need anything or need someone to talk to, you could always reach out to me. So I'm so sorry that you guys are going through that. And for everybody watching, that tends to be a lonely thing. So I'm happy that you mentioned it even on the show, because most people don't. And so for anyone going through it, you can always message me. So
I'm an ordained chaplain. So I said I'm an ordained chaplain, and one of the things that the Lord blesses me with is this horrible story that I came out of, and He puts people in front of my path that I get to minister to, and I just think it's so important. That's why I mentioned community, right? To have someone that you can talk to struggle, to go through that. And I read every single comment on my post, and the one comment that stuck out was, rather than seeing the 112 sales in a day, Saturday, we had our best sales day ever. We sold 4 shirts. Aww. And it was amazing. So, God is good. And it's great to be on this journey with everyone. I'm super thankful for your show. And to tell you the truth, the reason why I started posting was because on one of your shows, you said that we really want to hear from you. It really motivates us and things like that. So it was, 6-7 months ago, I posted something, just said thank you. And I always remember that. And so because of that, and everyone got to 100,000, right? 100,000 is crazy. To have 100,000 designs is crazy. And to think about all the different things you got to put it on. And chasing that hurt us. Trying to get to the tier up, when everything shut down, we only had like 18 designs, but they were on 20 million things.
Yeah, I'm so happy the timing of your post. And for anyone who didn't see the post, you could look it up in the Merge Money group. Just type in Chris's name, which should be on this show, the title of this show. but he did this awesome post, and it was right after. So for anybody listening to this in the future or whatever, recently a lot of people got tiered up to 100K, and then another wave of people all got tiered up to 20K, and then there was a lot of other people that didn't get tiered up at all. So it was just a very big divide. Like some people were so excited and had all these slots, and then other people were just frustrated where they've been working so hard and they didn't get any kind of bump at all, any kind of help. So I think it was really good timing, just to be like, hey, we're out here, we're with you guys that haven't gotten tiered up, and we've been doing this for a year, and you're enjoying the process and enjoying learning and enjoying. There's more to it than just having it be this big race where you're like always trying to compete with everyone else and trying to get to some arbitrary number that keeps changing. Because that's what I was saying too. Like my arbitrary number was 10K, and now it's like that sounds so tiny and small. So it never ends. Like at some point it's going to be 1 million or whatever number. 100K is not going to seem very high, in another couple of years. So this number just is going to keep moving. And if you base your success on trying to chase this ever-changing number, just enjoy the process along the way.
My pastor shared something with me before I went into my new job. Well, I've had the job now for 5 years, and I'm in a really good position with my work, and I love what I do. And one of the things was before I started, I've always chased. I've been a hustler my entire life. I've always wanted to get to the top. I actually didn't want to start my business because of all the extra work, and I hate accounting. I'm always one of those that got to do the books, and it's just one of those things. But he shared with me before, right when I got the job, was you're always chasing a carrot. The carrot's always in front of you. Mm-hmm. But see, because I have Christ, I don't need to chase the carrot. Mm-hmm. I have everything I need, and he's just going to bless my way. So I just follow him, and he makes straight my path. Yeah. So in the midst of that, I always picture that there may be a carrot out there, but I already have my carrot in my pocket. So I don't need to chase the next person. I don't need to chase all these people who have 100K or 20,000K or 10K. I just need to do what I need to do. And the same thing with my wife. She gets to do what she gets to do. And we just go.
Yeah, I love that. And there's nothing wrong with chasing things, it's fun to have goals, but at the same time, it's like, just make sure they are real goals that you want to achieve, and not just that you're comparing to someone else, and enjoy the process. Like every day, just have fun with your goal and set a new goal once you achieve it, but just make sure you're enjoying the process and not just like stressed out, like, oh my God, I have to get to such and such number.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really important to remember is, what do you want to do? What is your end game, right? If you're someone who is trying to create I forget what it's called, where the residual income, right? Well, then doing the birthday things where you were established in 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, and coming up, stacking all those designs is perfect, because they're always going to sell. Right. And there may be a time when you want to go do something else, and this is another funnel of income. Right. Or maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe you want to have a brand and you want to be the next Nike, or you want to be the next Under Armour, right? Well, then you do what you love and you build that brand. One of the things that we're building off of is quality. And we use, whether it's the Bella Canvas or the Gildan 6400, top quality shirt, and then produce it that way. And in the end, my end goal is to either have like a little shop like Fernando was talking about, or what would be totally amazing is to have a little kiosk in the mall. We have a mall out here called the Arrowhead Mall, and at the end corner there's a guy, and he's got a Cricut machine and a heat press and a printer, and he can do iron-ons and he can do vinyl, and he does whatever people want as they walk by, and I just thought it'd be perfect. Right?
Greg said if we end up going back to Jersey, we could have a shop on the boardwalk.
Exactly.
you can have a little shop down the shore and like find that trademark owner, be like, look,
only in the summer
down the shore.
So that's kind of the key, is it's really what you want to do.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I have one KDP book, and the one KDP book is something I want to do. I want to do a whole lot more of it. But it was my foot in the door. I have to focus on this thing now. Her brother her whole family are just amazing artists. Her one brother is a comic book artist and actually has comic books out. And then her other brother is a graphic designer, and it's like he puts up something simple on Instagram to him, and I'm just like, why can't I create that? And so I told him about Redbubble, and he's trying to get started on Redbubble, where he doesn't even try for merch on Amazon because that's where he wants to be, is Redbubble. It has stickers, and that's for him.
Yeah.
And go on from there.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, there's so many paths, so many ways, and you can always pivot too. And also you don't have everything right now, right this second. Like if you go back and listen to the old shows, I was always uploading to merch. And people are like, well, what about KDP? What about Redbubble? What about whatever? And I'm like, I want to get to 10K on merch. So that was my goal, and I stuck to it, and I did it. And then I was like, okay, now I want to learn KDP. Now I want to learn this. Now I want to learn that. But then there's also the pressure to be like, okay, well, don't you want to keep tiering up and get to tier 100 million trillion K? And I'm like, I got my 10K, and now I'm focusing on platform by platform, one platform at a time.
Perfect.
So everybody can do it different ways. You do whatever you want to do. There's no rules. Some people like to work at multiple things all at once. I think that's most entrepreneurs like to work at multiple things all at once. So I think it's unusual to be like me, where I just want to do one at a time. So it's you can do all of them at once and just do a little bit here and there, but then don't get worried or stressed out if it's taking you longer to tier up, because you're working on a lot of different things all at once. So it's just going to take a little bit longer, but that's fine. Like everybody does what they want to do. But real quick, I just want to say, Teresa, I just saw your comment. Oh my gosh, we got to show this. Did I hit the right one? I'm so glad you're okay. Says, I just got home from a crazy guy at the grocery store with all the customers huddled in one corner with police and came it. Oh my God, Teresa. I am so sorry. And then you're like coming right to our show. I feel so honored. But oh my gosh, please be careful. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I can't even imagine. Oh my gosh.
It's a crazy road.
Yes.
So, all right.
You were talking about focusing on one thing, and I followed a lot of what you were saying, and I focused all on merch, right? It made sense. Put all your eggs in one basket, or not one basket, but like focus here because it's the biggest selling thing. And I wanted to do exactly what you did, right? Get to a certain arbitrary number, and it's there. I'm established. And I was just trying to figure out merch and figure out my foot. Yeah. My idea for merch is, one, it's not mine, so I have no control over it, but it is to test my designs or test our designs. So if it is successful on there, I can constantly change the keywords, but once things catch on, well, then I know that people like this, they have interest. It's a market test. And then I can put it on things like Etsy. So when Merch by Amazon went all away, I went all in on Etsy. And then I'm super thankful that there was this anniversary show, and I won the SEO thing. And it was great. It was perfect timing. And during the midst of that, I ended up working from home. And so I lost all the travel time going back and forth, which gave me more time. And I could focus on SEO for Etsy. And I worked really hard at that. And I pivoted to learning. So I learned from Chris Green. So we were talking before the show. Fernando is amazing. That guy, amazing, right? Just super business mind, and I love listening to him when he's on here. Just listening to him go off and talking is just like, I just suck it all in. And I'd love to take his course, but his course is a college level course, and it's at a college level price, and it's well worth that price. But at this point in time in my business career, my business doesn't have that sort of income. Yeah. So Chris Green has a $37 launching course. My business had that sort of income. So I focused on his course. It was a crash course. 3 weeks, I was first one in, and it was amazing. You got so many tools. It was feeding out of a fire hose. But I had the merch money SEO, and then I had all the ideas to get started. So when the pandemic was over, I was ready to go. And we pivoted onto Etsy, focused on that. Then the POD distributors started losing, and Printful went crazy, and then Shirtley went crazy, and merch came back. So now we can do merch, and we can do merch wisely with keywords and pointed directions and things like that. So
yeah, and I love that whole story. I love how you pivoted. I love all of it. And I'm glad that we have now like over 2 years of content up here, because wherever you guys are, you can pick what you want to listen to and what you want to do. Just because I started with merch and I'm now going to KDP and different things, it doesn't mean you have to go in that order. You can start with KDP, you can start with Redbubble, you could do all of them at the same time. It's totally up to you. And we actually have these shows as playlists. So you can just click on playlists and listen to just KDP or just whatever you want to listen to, just Etsy, so that you don't have to get distracted with all the other platforms. If you want to focus just on Etsy, just click on the Etsy playlist.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we have a playlist. So you can kind of just narrow your focus and pick what you want to do. Or not narrow your focus, but whatever. If you're doing like one platform on that day and then you do another platform on another day, you just, pick a playlist per day.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no rules. There's no like you have to follow this particular path. We're all going at our own pace. And I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, Christina.
No,
That's what
it's
I
okay.
feel. I'm like, wait for Steph. I don't want to cut in on her.
Yeah, no. So tell us a little bit more about that dynamic. Like, how do you guys, work together to do this? Like, what role do you play? What role does she play?
So I tend to take care of a lot of the research in the business, and she does a lot of the designs. She's a teacher's assistant. Not only is she great with art, but she's amazing with kids. She's got a true heart for it, and special needs and things like that. But she's furloughed. She's laid off. So she's been really trying to work on learning different things and working on designs. As we were going through, we had so many designs that we needed to upload that it was like, what do we do next? And now she's had the time that she does the design. So she's working on, we had some customizations. Today she worked on a design for a friend of ours, and yesterday or the other day she made some designs, and then she does them all, and then she brings them into me, and then I give my opinion on them. And then she berates me and yells at me. And
I'm like, I don't know about giving an opinion from you.
Yeah, but
Sounds
and
dangerous.
then yeah, so I gently share it and I duck, and but and then she tells me the thoughts behind it and why she created it, which then allows me to market it and go and post it. We just uploaded, like I said, a whole bunch on this one niche. She has a whole backlog of another one of her niches that I have to upload. And since we were doing those two, the third one that we focus on got left out. So now she's focusing on those. And as we go, we just rotate it. And then when you go through creative blocks and different things like that, well, that's time to pivot. Well, if we're uploading to merch all the time, we may leave out Etsy. And one of the things that there's the third party. Where's he at?
Red.
This is our dachshund. We're pretty sure he's the biggest dachshund in Arizona. He is a standard. I was telling Helen at the beginning, you guys, I believe her name was April, and she focuses on dachshunds. And we are definitely going to get one of the things off her shop. It's a little dachshund that goes on the rear windshield wiper. But she went hog heaven in there. But we have a standard dachshund. He doesn't fit in a purse. He's almost 40 pounds, and he's a big boy. He's our purebred. We rescued him from an amazing group out here called Happy Tales.
Dachshund Only Rescue.
Yeah, and he was
I've heard
in Germany.
of them.
Yeah.
So he was originally born in Germany. Then he went to California to be a stud, where he was trapped in a cage all day, and he ended up breaking his leg, and they didn't take him to a vet to heal it. So when we adopted him, they gave us a fair warning and said the only thing that you can do to help his limp is to amputate it. But he runs. First thing he did was run away from us. So we were like, all right. I have my aunt's, I think it's her niece, aunt through friendship, is an amazing surgeon, world traveling pet surgeon, or animal surgeon, I guess it is. And so she's looking at the x-rays now to give us an opinion, because our cool thing, right, sidebar, our vet just ordered a shirt off our Etsy store, and I don't think she knows it's ours.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but she said the same thing. She was like, I have no idea how it healed that way, but he's walking, he's working, it's fine. He's a happy dog, runs, jumps, and plays, and is a little Houdini. He escapes out of everything. The first thing we did was put him in a kennel, and he broke out. And so I zip-tied the kennel when we went to church, and he broke out.
He broke out.
So I built a 3-foot fence to keep him just in the dining room. And I just had a bad feeling, so I came home the one day, and he was laying on the couch. I was like, it's crazy. So then I left, and then all of a sudden I got a notification on my security camera that something was moving in the living room, and I'm like, you're kidding me. And funniest thing was I literally, because he jumped through, I put a piece of plywood there that was 5 feet high, but I left this little tiny crack between the door and the gate, and he jumped right through it. And just couldn't believe he jumped 3 feet in the air to get over this little tiny crack. So
no kidding.
He now gets free roam. Yep.
Yes.
He's got a bum leg, he's got short legs, and he's 40 pounds, yet he still managed.
Yes.
So.
And he's ripped down the curtains.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the curtains back there. We have him on video, he pulled them down, it made a loud pop, and he stopped and was scared. And he's like, oh, well, back at it. And pulled him straight down.
Yes. Broke the curtain rod in half and ripped the curtains right down.
Monty has a question for you, Stefie. She says, do you combine the state and pet merch ideas with spirituality?
I don't usually combine them. I keep them all separated.
So, but I do have a couple designs in my head as far as that.
You're like, now that you mention it.
No, I do. So, and one of the things with particularly Steph is she keeps us in line. When you had April on the show, she had all these designs, and it turns out that all the designs on her site were the ones that we seen in the beginning, and she refused to copy or make anything close to. So if it's been done before, she won't do it. She may take it as some sort of idea, but that's about as far as it goes. So trying to create new things was different, and there's somebody who has a shirt out that says Jesus, coffee, doxy, or different things like that, and there's a little heart on it. So I've been trying to figure out a way to do something very similar, but as of right now, no, we haven't been able to come up with a way to do that.
Okay.
I'm just afraid that I'm going to end up stealing somebody's idea, somebody else's copyright. So I try to keep a distance from other people's ideas.
Yeah,
come up with fresh new ones myself.
We were scarred by that down the shore thing. And I posted something on Amazon at the beginning of the month, and it really made my heart sink because it got flagged. And it got flagged because of the word Waymaker, which is a popular Christian song. And there's tons of shirts on there right now, specifically with the lyrics on the songs, and they're all out there. And I was just trying to use the keyword, and I put it on 5 different designs, and they all got dinged. And I'm like, please don't take my account. So we're just super sensitive right now.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You don't want to put anything that has to do with any brand or big names or anything like that. But yeah, it's tricky. We all try to figure out. Do you guys use anything to double check your listing before you hit submit? Merch Informer has a good.
Yes, we have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I use that. So I have Merch Informer, and then there was another one. trying to have a merch producer, which I think is still theirs. I'm not exactly sure how to use it because a lot of it's in a different language for all their videos. But I have that go through and it kind of checks it. But, it dings a single word and it'll ding the word Jesus or it'll ding the word Christmas because somebody has that in a copyright somewhere. So it's kind of difficult still with those things.
It is. Yep. It is.
Well, Teresa says you guys are so cute and inspirational.
Thank you. We're going to pray for you. She was the one who just had that canine incident. Said a little prayer for you, but we'll definitely pray for you after the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just so happy that you guys came on and hopefully you guys can inspire other people to come on the show too, because I'll probably do my round again to all the people that said no to me and be like, come on, Chris and Stefie said you.
Yeah, so seriously.
It's really like I really want you guys to be proud of yourself for saying yes, because it's about, I would say about 90% people say no if they don't already have a YouTube channel. They're that.
So you're in sales then. When I first started selling, they said you get 10 no's for every one yes.
Well, it's almost 100% yes if the person has a YouTube channel, which is interesting because in the beginning
I was something to market.
Yeah. Well, they have something to market and they're used to being on YouTube, so it's not so scary. It's both. But in the beginning, I was so like insecure and nervous and everything. I was afraid to reach out to people that were really successful and that I had been following for a long time because I don't know. I just thought I wasn't good enough or that they would say no or something. They all said yes. And that's a funny story about how the show even started. I was so nervous about asking anyone to do a show with me that I asked a whole bunch of people at once. Like I hit submit on like a whole bunch and just like closed my eyes like, oh my God. And then it was like, yes, 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 yes. And I was like, darn it, what did I do?
Now you have a panel.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it started with so many people. But anyway.
I was actually, one of the things, and I don't know how to do it, so I'll try and figure it out. But a lot of things that you hear is, I wish I would have started something to help people in the beginning, right? Because I forget all the things in the beginning is what you hear often. And I think part of the fear of that is that, well, you're going to fail with someone. So I don't know what to say. I don't know how to tell people to succeed. I can just tell people to just push on. If I can encourage anyone out there listening who might be asked to come on the show, Steph was really, really like, what do I do? Because for her, as I said, she doesn't do a lot of the YouTube. She's not on the Facebook pages or anything like that. She's just the artist.
Really want to say thank you for taking the plunge and doing this, because it's a huge step. And once I finally realized that, like, I can reach out to anyone and they're going to say yes. Like, I don't have to feel insecure about like, oh, they're more successful than me or this or that. Like, if they're on YouTube, they're going to say yes. I mean, unless there are some people, like if I tried to reach out to, I don't know, Grant Cardone or something, maybe he would say no, maybe he would say yes though. Like it's really like, if they're in the print on demand realm, they're probably going to say yes. But it's actually,
makes you feel better. I have no idea who that is.
Oh, okay. I don't know, business.
I know who you are, but I don't know who he is.
Hey, okay, well, Grant Cardone, you should be honored to be on our show because Chris knows me and not you. But anyway, but yeah, the people that don't have YouTube channels, that's the real challenge to try to get them on this show. So I keep working at it. I keep asking every single person and pushing through, because every now and then someone says yes. And you guys are that every now and then that said yes. And it really made my day. So I really appreciate it.
I can't believe you asked. I'm sitting here going like, one of the questions is, do you have a link that you want to provide? And I'm like, no. I haven't built my site yet. I could send you to my Etsy store. I can send you to my my merch brand or any of these things. But then I just put that out there for everyone to take my designs. So the only thing I have is my photography.
It'll do more harm than good, so I didn't share it. But it's I think there's real value in talking to just everyone in the group, because everyone has a different story to tell, and you can see people that are doing the same thing as you. Like, this is not everyone's full-time job. This is, for a lot of people, this is just something that you do on the side. And I think it's important for people to see how people are incorporating this into their life, and how you start small and over time you grow and build and make it a little bit bigger over time, but it takes a while.
So if I can encourage someone, this is I have so little time to do anything, and I'm there with you. Yesterday I woke up at 3:00 in the morning to drive an hour to leave at 5:00 in the morning to go see the Grand Canyon, and we drove 2 hours to Sedona. I have a mentor. He's almost 80 years old and an amazing photographer, internationally recognized. Won't tell you he's internationally recognized, but he is in the Hall of Fame. And so we went to Sedona. Then we hit this spot in Sedona, went to see Oak Creek Canyon, didn't work. Went all the way up to the Grand Canyon. We got home last night at 10. I think I went to bed at midnight, woke up at 5. I think I woke up at 5, went to work, did everything I did at work for a full day, got home at 4:30 to figure out how to do this as I'm texting Helen going, how do we both get on there? To not having the headset work that we thought was going to work. I mean, we're tied together with a cord. It's a good thing I like her, but all that, and then we still haven't had dinner, and I'm going to have to try and find some time to make sure I say thank you to the people who ordered things, and go from there.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be on the show, because it means a lot to everyone. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I said it. Community is so important. You guys have helped me tremendously. You just don't know. There's people in the group who've helped me. Just seeing the things that they posted. The April, I keep talking about her. She inspired me so much because look at her brand. And you guys even talked about it. She was so narrowed down on her niche. We're in the same niche. We do Dachshunds. And we can't copy any of her designs. And she's got 1 million designs, and they're all good. So now how do we come up with all those type things? And it's like, all the people who commented, thank you. All the people who are there and take the time. The Chris Greens who come on here, the RJs who share day in and day out. The Fernandos, you help us all, and we all have some sort of goal, whether it is, like I said, just the extra money on the side, or I'd really like to get her to have a steady income, not having to go to work, so she can be here to do whatever needs to be done. I don't think she's cool with that, but if I get a shop at the boardwalk, she's so gonna be cool with that.
That would be so cool. We're moving back to Jersey.
You open that shop in Jersey, you have to tell me, and I will come to it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Have a grand opening show.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I would encourage everyone to just, I've been doing sales since I was 9 years old. I was selling Prime Star satellite dishes by picking up a phone book and calling people in the phone book, the white pages. And then my grandmother and I would load up the minivan, put a satellite dish in, and here's this cute little 9-year-old kid, trying to sell. And I did, and I went from there to Amway I sold Cutco knives and done all these things. Cutcos are the best. Absolutely amazing, right?
I did 2 months selling Cutco and got up to, I think I sold $10,000 of knives.
Nice. I was 18.
2 months in the summer, like when I was a senior in high school or something.
Yeah, I ended up DJing the quarterly things to get free knives and things like that. And my friends would all I tried to go into their parents and they'd say, don't let them in. And I'd sell them stuff.
Every interview I ever went on after that, I was able to walk into people's houses that didn't know me and sell them knives. I'm like, how did I pull that off? Like, it was literally like I didn't know who they were, and I'm like coming in with knives. But anyway, somehow it worked.
Yeah.
It's such good practice. I really think everyone should have a job like that at some point.
Yeah, it was great. Travel with a little briefcase.
You need to have that like really hard sales job where you're going door to door. You need to have that job where you're like a waiter or waitress, like dealing with the public. Like, retail job, like those three, like it helps you like become a strong human being.
Add a convenience store worker in there too, or the grocery store.
Yeah.
Deal with all kinds of people.
I worked at Wawa.
Yeah. I worked at Turkey Hill. So
my family. Somehow
I miss my Turkey Hill iced tea.
I miss my Wawa Sizzlies.
She misses her Sizzlies all the time. We went back to visit, I think, a year or two ago. She just went back recently for her little niece. And first thing we did, then when we had the opportunity, she got a Sizzly.
Stop at Wawa and get my Sizzly.
I grab a half gallon of Turkey Hill tea, and I'm in next to heaven.
They're in Virginia now, so
yeah, they're out here too.
Family now accepts Virginia because they do have Wawas. So
Wawa's in Virginia. Turkey Hill is
Wawa's in Florida.
Here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do have a couple more questions.
This hour went so fast.
It did. So you mentioned that you are into photography, and I was wondering, have you found a way to incorporate that into your print-on-demand businesses yet?
Yeah, that's my test. I was looking for a shirt. It's in the washer. So Printify, they blew me away for some. So scared, but I had a picture of a front of a tea bucket, car, hot rod, and I sent it there as a test to see how well they did, and I picked the wrong provider, and they only had like 3 stars or something like that, and it was so amazing. It was just so good. But the stickers that came back from, I think, Spoke with my, I do wildflowers, a lot of wildflowers as well. They were horrible, and I made a magnet with all of us for the fridge to test, and it was undersaturated. Then it came back oversaturated and the wrong colors. I want to send one to Printful as well to get a print of my shirts. And I have an idea that I use photography in for a couple designs. I'll share a little bit of it. I won't share what it is, but Adobe, they have something that's called a frame tool. It's not how I do it. I still do it the old school way. But the frame tool, if you learn how to use it, you can take a word and then throw photography behind it. I still have to test merch to see how well they print. But I think they have the same printers as Printful, so I'm really hopeful. But you can take any old word, like say Dachshund, and throw a picture of a Dachshund behind it, or faith, and heaven, and just throw something that reminds you of heaven cut out behind it. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm looking to do, because it's one of those branding things. But at the same time, one of the things that I want to do locally, because I also look locally, the end goal for us, or for me, like I said, is that shop, right? So want to get a Cricut or a Silhouette to cut vinyl. I have I was blessed with a amazing photo printer, an Epson wide format printer, so I can do iron-ons and things like that. I was blessed with a Brother printer that looks like it's junk, but you can turn it into a sublimation printer. I had a friend who was working at Wendy's, and they got a new one, and it's dye-based, and I found out that you can do it for sublimation. And so to have our own stuff and print it, I want to go to car shows, and I can take pictures of people's cars, edit them quickly, and print it on a t-shirt. Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Be careful with merch, because if it's like a specific car brand, sometimes they don't like that. Even like pictures of like a, whatever brand car. They're
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like the labeling. Yeah.
You definitely wouldn't be able to say the name of the brand in the listing, and you can't, it might go through, but eventually, like, you're not supposed to be profiting off of brands of anything. So I would just
that makes sense as far as keywording and description. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you couldn't put Pepsi on there.
Yeah, be careful about any recognizable brands in the image itself.
Well, I only do hot rods and muscle cars, and they typically don't look like factory floor.
That's what I was thinking. They're all custom, and
that should be fine.
Yeah. So now, we do have a couple questions. We've got one from Dwayne here. He is asking, any cool resources to learn more about SEO for Etsy specifically?
Yeah, well, I learned from Merch Money. So they have this really cool walkthrough that helped me a lot, and they provide you with templates. And the template is really what helped me because it allows me to organize my thoughts in an Excel spreadsheet. And I'll let you ladies kind of explain a little bit better since you did it. But yeah, that's actually how I do my SEO. You can eventually go on to Marmalade, but once again, that's like $40 a month. So $30 a month. You can use eRank in the basic version, but I really set everything up. I'll extract any sort of keywords from Merch Informer, and then I follow the Merch Money way.
Cool. That's so awesome. Love hearing that.
Dwayne,
So how do they get it?
I think you have that webinar, Dwayne. It's in the mastermind group. It's also on our website. It's the well, go ahead, Christina. Christina made it.
Yeah, Dwayne. I think that Dwayne may have it, but yeah, if not, Dwayne, let us know. But yeah, anyone who's interested, it is on our website, merchmoney.com. Or is it? Yeah, it's merchmoney.com. Yeah, I was like, some of our stuff is Merch Money Show. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I don't think it's, yeah. So for anyone else, can get it there. And maybe we'll run like a special on it this week since Chris has mentioned it a couple times and it's been really helpful for him. Maybe we'll run a sale so that other people can pick that up. So, because I honestly, that was something that I struggled with when I first started out. And that's why I felt like the training was so important because it just, I see a lot of people who have great designs. And if their designs could just get in front of the customers, they would sell. So, yeah,
I listened to the Marmalade podcast as well. There was somebody on there today who was really emphasizing keywords, and I think one of the things to pay attention with keywords is it takes time. So, if you're going to change the keyword, don't change it after a week. One of the things I just recently learned was I ran some ads, and it took it all to the wrong product on Etsy, but it showed me what was hitting, so it allowed me to direct it in a different way and direct it to different products. But yeah, I spent more money than I wanted to on a product that I really wasn't trying to promote, so the Etsy ads didn't work for me.
Okay. Wow. We have got another question for you. Which provider or providers, because I heard you kind of mention a couple on Printify, do you feel has the best printing on apparel? And is that who you're using now?
No, I don't use Printify now. I'm thankful that Printful's back. They've always given me pretty good service. Kind of a caveat is Printed Mint. They're local here. I got to meet Hillary and before the pandemic and everything, and they're super nice and they have amazing customer service. I've heard some people knock them, and everybody has their own experiences. But I use them for mugs and anything that I can use Printed Mint for. I try, but I'm not a big fan of their apparel printing.
Do you know much about them, Christina?
Yeah. I've wanted to use them. I've just been trying to find someone who has used them. But I love the look of their products, and they have some really unique stuff.
Yeah, introduce us to them. We would love to talk to them too. Maybe they could be on the show or something.
Yeah. Sure, I'll try. One of the things I tell people is go to Instagram and look up hashtag like Printed Mint or Printed Minters, and you can see some of the products because they're really tight on what they put out, but other people hashtag it, so they don't have like a integration like Printful as far as making mock-ups for you. They do have one, and there's a way to use it, but it's not as intuitive where you push. But they do integrate with Etsy, and my mugs go there. I approve it and ship it that way. I found them to have the best shipping and printing combo. So I went there. The original question was about apparel. I want to say that I used Monster, but as I said, I accidentally chose it. I can look it up and I'll see if I can put it in the comments later of who I did. But there's lots of people who use Printify, but I've heard all the horror stories. And as I said, I'm trying to build off quality, and I don't want to take the chance And the other products that I got told me that, you know what, even though some people have had great success, it's probably not a company for me.
Right. Good to know. Wow. And another question, I know we're at 9 o'clock, and if you maybe just a couple more questions I've got.
It's 6 o'clock here.
Oh, wow. It's true. Okay, so you mentioned Merch by Amazon, you mentioned Etsy, you mentioned you've got one thing up on KDP. Are you on any other platforms right now?
No, I will be.
Okay.
I have everything ready. I was waiting for merch to come back so that I could use the extractor to do a bulk upload to Redbubble. That's the next target place to be.
Okay.
Zazzle, I've had a friend order something on Zazzle and they didn't get exactly what they wanted. It was just a fitment issue, but I had a copyright issue and I think I put it up on the Facebook page, but I sent a message to Zazzle and they immediately took it down and responded back. So I was thoroughly impressed with their customer service, the way they came back, and they were like, we've notified the shop owner and we've removed this product. So it told me that it was a company that I wanted to deal with. So they will be on the list as well. I think that the Merch Informer uploader will work for there as well.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. That's great.
And is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about that we just haven't had a chance to ask you yet or talk about? And do you have any advice for us, for the group, or anything that you wish we had or wish we did better?
So one of the things I have to mention is the only reason why we're here is because of Christ, and Christ has blessed us so much to give us this opportunity. So full credit and glory to my Lord and Savior. I think that's important for people to know that that's a core root of who we are, and that's also what gives us our drive, right? Being led and having a reason to do it. Think about your why. A lot of people will tell you to think about your why. Why are you here? In lean manufacturing, they say you drill why down 5 times. Why do you do something? Well, I like it. Why? Well, because it makes me happy. Why? You know what? Because I can express this. Why? Because I found out that I love art, and it's my art, whatever the case may be. My why is my wife. She's my why. I want to be able to. She's a dream. She's a dream to be an architect, an interior designer, and I want her to be able to achieve that. She's not the greatest in school. She's not where she can go and study books. I'm a consumer. That's who I am, and I love it, and I accept that. But she's my why. I want her to be able to get comfortable and know that she can do what she wants to do. The other part of it is that I want the ability to be able to travel. If it is her heart, if you can't tell, her heart's stuck in Jersey. So I want to be able to have the freedom, should it be that we can live maybe there for half a year and live out here for half a year. And that may not be for 10, 15 years. But you know what? Today it was 113 degrees. And I don't know what it was where you're at, but it had to be better than 113.
Yeah.
So if we could be down the shore on the boardwalk in the summer when we're 50 years old, retiring, enjoying a slice of pizza, you know what? That would be amazing. And I'd love to get there for it. And that's my end goal, to see my wife happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that big smile, she's already happy. She's already accomplished that.
Oh, it's so sweet, gosh.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
And the second part of your question was anything for you guys. I would just say keep doing it. You are honest. You're real. Your heart is amazing. And because of that is why you've had the success. I went to your link tree. That's crazy. There's a lot of countries there. I do listen to it on a podcast. I don't do the YouTube because I don't typically get home by 5 o'clock. I tend to work 12-hour days. But I'm thankful that I can go onto my cell phone and listen to whatever it is. So I'm thankful that you've taken that route as well. And for anybody listening, whoever you are, I'm nobody. I'm honestly nobody. We're not successful in anything we do. That's not a humble brag. That's not anything. But we all have something to share, and I'm hoping somebody got something out of what we did, and I would love to hear what you have. to say, because it would help. Everyone coming together helps.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. Truly appreciate your courage coming on the show and sharing your story and your light with the world, and sharing
God is good
as well, because that always helps people. And I wish you guys all the best. And you're welcome back on the show anytime. And if there's anything that we can do for you, let us know. And definitely let us know when you open that store. I would love to be your first customer.
Definitely. And if anybody wants to private message us, you can. My name's on there. I'm in the group. I may see it. If not, send me a comment on here and tag my name, and I'll do my best to answer it if you're going through anything. I'll do my best to help.
All right. Well, thanks, and go eat dinner. And once again, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who is watching. We'll see you guys.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.